is overwhelming. According to the Healthy Mind study of 2023 to 2024 data report, approximately 1/3 of college students are dealing with moderate to extreme signs of anxiety. Trying to manage school, work, and friends is a never-ending battle. Anxiety is a walk in the dark. You don't know when it will arrive, and you don't know how it will manifest. Having strategies to handle feelings and recognizing the signals when panic is sneaking up on you is crucial for maintaining control, which is where guided imagery comes to the rescue. Have any of you experienced anxiety while in college? Personally, I deal with it all the time. When I have a big exam, it's common for my heart to race a mile a minute and for my stomach to tie into a knot. I participate in guided imagery often to help reduce my anxious feelings. I've also done substantial research on the subject. Guided imagery should be used by college students as an essential strategy for anxiety management because it engages the brain in positive visualization, regulates the nervous system, and reduces stress. Anxiety is a predominant issue in the college years, so understanding how to keep it under control is important. Anxiety is an unsettling feeling of not knowing the upcoming actual or imagined risks. A reason many college students are anxious is because of the pressure of their responsibilities. Georgia Barbayanis and colleagues explained in an article from Frontiers in Psychology that college students are exposed to novel academic stressors, such as an extensive academic course load, financial concerns, and adapting to a new environment. It affects quality of life, such as performance, mental health, and social functioning. Here's a scenario that could evoke this stress. Imagine having a difficult day at work that required staying after hours. That night, you can't sleep well, you toss and you turn. The next morning, you race to school to find out that you had a surprise exam that you didn't even study for. All of a sudden, your heart races, sweat trickles down your forehead, and your hands start trembling. This alters your ability to concentrate, lowers your confidence, and evokes frustration. The symptoms that come with anxiety can interfere with daily tasks. Finding accessible and effective techniques is essential for dealing with anxiety. Engaging in guided imagery is an immediate solution to help alleviate anxiety and a dysregulated nervous system. According to Dali Kumari and Jaideep Patil in the Industrial Psychiatry Journal, guided imagery is a relaxation therapy that is based off of the interactions of the brain, mind, body, and behavior. In other words, it's an intervention that involves the senses and the visualization of relaxing images. This is done to shift one's focus from stressful to positive thoughts. It's a distraction to reduce symptoms that come with stress. The amount of time, money, and resources in guided imagery is very manageable and affordable, as you can see. One can do this in a few minutes per sitting at no cost and in any location. One only needs to do this with themselves and their own imagination. Let me describe how simple this relaxation technique is. Stephen Craw reviews the steps of guided imagery in his research article, The Multiple Uses of Guided Imagery. First, when the initial signs of anxiety start, one needs to identify that they're feeling stressed. Second, this is when one pauses and gets into a comfortable position. Third, one should close their eyes, and this is the time when the anxious person should engage in one of the various techniques of guided imagery. This could be concentrating on the physical functions of one's own body. In my experience, paying attention to how I inhale and exhale. After, visualization comes after by imagining oneself in serene locations. For instance, a tranquil forest. Or visualizing the success of a task. Like I like to imagine an A on my final exam. After a few minutes of visualizing and processing the sensory stimuli and imagery, one should feel their symptoms lessening. Lastly, one should open their eyes and feel an adjustment in both their nervous system and levels of stress. This will allow the person to resume what they were doing without that intense feeling. Lauren Toussaint and colleagues in the Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine Journal included that usage of guided imagery displayed an increased level of psychological and physiological relaxation. Participants in the process of guided imagery is beneficial in how one feels and performs when completing a session. After utilizing guided imagery to decrease stress, the anxious symptoms would be reduced immediately. The lessened symptoms help the test taker in the surprise test stop overthinking, feel focused on the content, feel calm and in control when answering questions, and be more positive when taking this test. A research study in Centers Basel Journal by Zelma and others support this matter. And I quote, "Notably, the guided imagery group exhibited significantly higher levels of alpha power, a key indicator of brain wave activity associated with improved attentional control." These findings highlight the positive impact that guided imagery has on one's focus and overall calmness. As a fellow college student who experiences anxiety on a daily basis, I strongly advise you to incorporate guided imagery into your daily lives. For the next few seconds, I would like you to close your eyes, then focus on your breathing and imagine that you're in a peaceful location. Think about the environment, such as the beach. Imagine the sun warming your skin while you hear the ocean's waves crashing. This should help you shift your attention to a relaxing visual image. Now, I want you to open your eyes and see how you feel. Hopefully, calmer, less stressed, and motivated. By taking a few minutes of time when feeling stressed or anxious to pause, concentrate on your senses, and envision positive visualizations, then we can conquer the never-ending battle of anxiety.